They don't do enough to help the team build up. What is this? What is this identity from us? Astronomical amount of space. I mean, look at that. Then he gets tackled and he lies on the floor. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom, and today it is the one you've no doubt all been waiting for. It is the Wolves defeat tactical analysis. I'm going to go through the clips just like always and tell you my thoughts on them. So let's not waste any time, let's get right into the video. We'll start with this first clip in a second, but before we do, I just do want to quickly say apologies, this video did not come out on Wednesday night, and apologies there was no tactics video for the West Ham one. The games are thick and fast, which is coinciding with my life being mental at the minute with work, and I am studying again at the minute, everybody, so there's the fourth wall into my life. I will try always my best to get these videos out for you, but yeah, my actual real life job and my studies on top of that do take up quite a lot of my time. So happy to get this one out for you on a Thursday at the very least. So I'm only going to show one clip of Liverpool building up from the back. Okay, maybe that's a lie. Maybe there's two or maybe three. But I'm at least going to keep it short in this video of clips of this manner, because I could make so many videos about this. The Forest tactical analysis video had like 20 clips of us trying to play out from the back, so if that's what you want to see, go and watch that. But I'll only complain once in this one, or maybe twice, like I said. So here we are, first half. Let's start with this. Alisson with the ball, and once again I'm gonna beat the dead horse. We just cannot build up. We cannot build up, and we can't build up against, frankly, pathetic presses as well by other teams. It's not like Wolves are really, you know, a high-pressing monster type team. But if a team puts any pressure on us whatsoever when our goalkeeper has the ball, we cannot get out. It is unacceptable, and this is an example of exactly why. So the reason why is because our midfielders don't stand in the right places. They don't do enough to help the team build up. I completely think this is a coached issue. I don't understand. I think it's a tactical decision, and I don't know how to describe the word I'm looking for here, but it's a problem. It's bad tactics from Slot in the way that he doesn't have McAllister or Gravenberch or even Szoboszlai act as the sole anchor of the middle. No one is given that responsibility to be the real pivot player who's going to pivot the ball between centre-backs, between full-backs like Rodri for City, for example, or someone along those lines. Instead, he has them quite often stand in a completely parallel line, most of the time hiding behind midfielders so they can't get the ball, with another midfielder right up their arse so they can't receive the ball, even if there was a passing lane. So you see it happen here. Alisson is actually going to pass this one to McAllister. This is quite a rare pass for Liverpool. This never really happens. You see Wolves are a bit slow to come and press, but they're not even really trying to press that hard, to be honest, guys. This is Wolves we're talking about here. And McAllister plays the ball out wide to Frimpong, so the ball goes out there. At this point, everything is fine, but I just want to now point out Gravenberch. And for me, bar the first month or so of the season, I think he's actually had a really poor season. That might be harsh to say, but I don't know how much of it's his own doing either. I think last season we found out how great Gravenberch could be as a number 6. Yet for some reason Slot has decided this year to sack that off completely and play him as a positionless number 8 almost. He just goes anywhere on the pitch at any time, and he doesn't seem to know where to be. And here, like, he runs in this direction. He's going from here to over here, and there's no pass for Frimpong. Maka hasn't got the legs to get in here by the time Wolfert is going to close down Frimpong, so this pass can't happen. Gravenberch, for me, has to be braver and show for this ball. He has to come, show for the 1-2. Maybe Frimpong can knock the ball in here like this, and then Gravenberch can flick it, you know, back when Wolfert comes and applies the pressure. But Gravenberch doesn't. He just runs away from the ball, and we have to go all the way back to Konate. And now, just like that, Wolves have got us in a real position where we're going to struggle to get the ball out. So again, McAllister doesn't have the legs to get around the pitch. For me, he should be in here, or, like I said before, if Gravenberch was given that real rigid position of the number 6 position, instead of him being out here on the wing randomly, maybe he would already be in this area. And when this ball goes back to Konate, Adam Armstrong can't go and press Alisson as easily because this pass could happen to Gravenberch. But instead, Konate only has one pass, and that's back to Alisson, who then only has the option to kick the ball long, and we kick it out for a throw-in and concede possession. It's so poor. It's unbelievable. And it happens time and time and time again. Okay, so here was Wolves on the ball, and what you're going to see on the start of this one is McAllister actually stepping in the middle and winning the ball. And to be fair to him, didn't have the best game in this one, as did anybody, but he did win the ball back a few times, so that's good. And this is one occasion. So wins the ball back, and we launch counter-attack. So Gakpo's got the ball. Can he lay Kerkez in? Is what I'm thinking. Kerkez is clearly the one moving forward, but obviously, as we know, Gakpo has some sort of vendetta against Kerkez. I don't know what it is. He just will not pass him the ball. Instead, he passes it to Maka, who then passes the ball to Kerkez. Luckily, the attack was still salvaged, and it's a good ball by Maka as Kerkez finds himself in a nice position, but we don't make the most of it at all. So this cross is actually blocked from Kerkez, and this is where we need more quality. You can talk tactics all day long. If we get a counter-attacking opportunity like this, these are the ones where you have to put a team like Wolves to the sword. If they're going to give the ball away in these areas, you have to be ruthless. And Kerkez has to maybe cut this ball back, avoid this man. Can he go through his legs? Can he go around him and find Salah at the back post? He's got to do more than get this cross blocked, in my opinion. So, yeah, disappointing end to this attack, but a decent counter-attacking move, well won back by McAllister. And this is one of our best chances of the first half. So I put this one in. This is a clip of the game I've put in to show just how bad our midfielders are, or not as individual players, perhaps. I don't want to say that, but how little they show for the ball in comparison to the worst team in the league's midfielders, who, by the way, bossed us in this game. João Gomez and Andre were the best two midfielders on the pitch, and it wasn't even close. They bossed us. And João Gomez, especially in this clip, I want you to watch him. So this is the player here that I've highlighted. Wolves have the ball. I want you to watch how many runs he makes to try and receive this ball. I want you to see how much he wants the ball and compare that to what I just showed you before with Gravenberch and McAllister. And even look at their position now. So what you'll notice a lot about when you watch Liverpool is the three midfielders, whether that's Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Jones, whoever it might be using those three midfield positions, they just are way too fluid for my liking. They go deep, they go forward, they go left, they go right at any given time. The only games that this didn't happen in was when we played the Diamond like this, and we had a clear number 6, which was usually Maka, and then Szoboszlai and Gravenberch with Wirtz forward. That was much better and it worked better for us, but we've just abandoned that once again. So yeah, really don't like how deep we are. McAllister can just push forward. There's no need for him being here. Szoboszlai can push forward. We've got Wolves in a decent area, but nonetheless, João Gomez and Andre, to be fair to them, shown for the ball. This ball could come in here if Wolves were sharp, but no need. Ekitike actually covers that passing lane, which is fine, and they go back to the goalkeeper, to the centre back. Sorry. And now João Gomez moves from the blind side of Ekitike to actually show for the ball. This is a foreign concept. If you're a Liverpool fan, I guarantee, if this was Liverpool, if this was Konate on the ball, Gravenberch or McAllister, take your pick, wouldn't be stood here. Instead, they would be stood here, right behind the striker, so this pass can't happen. But instead, João Gomez actually comes and shows for the ball, so this pass can come in here if need be. Szoboszlai's too deep. McAllister's in a decent position, to be fair, and Gravenberch is way too deep. I don't even know where he is. He's not even on the pitch. I don't know why Slot keeps making him stand so deep. It's really, really confusing. Anyway, this pass doesn't come to João Gomez here, so he decides to vacate the space. And that's something I was always taught as a young player when I was playing, is you don't want to show for the ball for too long if you're not getting it. You want to get in and then vacate the space. So that's what he does. Spins out. Maybe someone else can come in and make a run, or maybe the player that's got the ball can dribble into the space. Neither of that happens in this occasion, but João Gomez makes another run, so that's 3 already he's made in just a short space of time. The ball's going to go back to the goalkeeper, and the moment that it goes back to the goalkeeper, the exact moment it goes back, it's like a trigger in his mind goes, right, now I'm going to go and get this ball. Okay, this is João Gomez, who I think we'll all agree is one of Wolves' better players. But Wolves are rock bottom of the Premier League. This is not Pedri that we're watching here. This is not anything crazy advanced in football. But as soon as this goalkeeper gets the ball, he thinks it's my job now to go and show immediately, so then that pass can come to me and my feet. And if I do it quick, no one can press me because Gravenberch is stood holding hands with Alisson at the back, so no one's going to get near me. And that's what he does. We don't do this. You'll see whenever Alisson gets the ball, our midfielders are nowhere near. And you see the attitude of our players. Look, Szoboszlai's running away. He's running down to try and cover this long ball down here. He doesn't think, I need to go and press this man. And Salah and Ekitike do it's hard for them because Ekitike is supposed to stop this ball, which he does, and Salah's supposed to stop this ball, which technically he does. They can't cover everything, but this pass is way too easy. The ball comes into João Gomez, he just bounces it straight back off to the centre-back, and they beat Ekitike's press as easy as pie, and he's not great at pressing Ekitike, but as an individual pressing, you're never going to get anywhere. It's so easy, and he's just out the game, and so is Salah, and they just walk back into position. And look at where is our team? Salah and Ekitike have basically no chance. Szoboszlai's the only other player on the whole pitch. Wolves have the ball with their goalkeeper, and there's not a single Liverpool player outside of the front two within Wolves' third of the pitch. What is this? What is this identity from us? Why are we so deep against bottom of the league? It's really negative football in my eyes. Anyway, we'll move it on, and suddenly you'll see where our team is. João Gomez gets this ball, but this is an astronomical amount of space. I mean, look at that. For a midfielder to have at any time, for any team, at any state of the game in the Premier League, that is just not acceptable, what you're seeing right there. For him to be able to just receive that ball from the goalkeeper and then the centre-back with that much space and time, I do not understand. We're in this 4-4-2 here, as we've defended in quite a lot. Why are we so deep? I cannot get to grips with it at all. The defence is too deep. They have to push right up onto the halfway line, which then allows the midfielders to push right up and not allow this. So stop the ball here. Not allow João Gomez to run forward. Think of when we played City and we couldn't get out in that first half. You remember? Same with Forest. We could not get out because they were pressed high. They didn't allow the team to get the ball into midfield and turn. And then, lo and behold, this happens. João Gomez inexplicably just runs straight through the middle of the pitch with nobody going near him until he gets well into our half. Everybody just drops off. This is shambolic from Liverpool. It's so poor. And they almost get a chance from it, Wolves, because João Gomez plays a pretty simple pass through the lines of our backpedaling defence over to Chatsua, who's the fastest player in the Premier League this season. And he gets in on the end of it and they put a decent cross in. No one got on the end of it and we got away with it, but it's so easy to get through us. Compare this to what I showed you earlier with how we try and play out. It's polar opposite. We are the easiest team to get out against, and we can't get out against anybody. Let's move on. There's Chatsua going through. Let's move on to Salah and start with his performance in this game. So he was so poor in this game. He comes away with a goal. I don't know how. Him and Gakpo were both horrendous in this game, and this is an example of why. Okay, Salah's got the ball. He's under no pressure whatsoever. There's no one anywhere near him. No Liverpool player really doing a whole lot. Maybe can he bounce this ball in here? Can he just give it to Gravenberch? Maybe Frimpong go one-on-one. He's got options. Instead, just really, I don't want to say lazy, but not being careful with his passing, sloppy, just hits it straight into Angel Gomez's head or back when he's trying to play it across to Kirkaz, who is in acres of space. Really poor, just a careless mistake from Salah. And Wolves get the ball. Again, it's João Gomez who comes away with it. Liverpool not set up really very well. We've got Gakpo's up front randomly, Ekitike's on the left randomly, McAllister and Gravenberch are, guess what, too deep once again, and João Gomez can just run forward. Gravenberch is way too late on his tackle. He's nowhere near the ball, just takes João Gomez out completely, and this was his yellow card that got him hooked at half-time alongside his terrible performance in this game. So really, really poor from us, again, in just general build-up. Okay, this is when I lied. I will put one more clip of us building up in, because it's just astounding. I just can't legislate for this. Like, there's no explanation for how poor this is. And just think of what I just showed you with Wolves. Joao Gomez shown for the ball in the middle. This time, second half kicked off, we've dropped Szoboszlai to be the deep midfielder, just like we did against Forest. That actually worked against Forest, but didn't really have the same effect against Wolves in this one. Wolves are pressing with the front two, just like we did, Ekitike and Salah. They're not really interested in coming to press the goalkeeper. They're bottom of the league. Why would they be? But we've got an easy pass. Alisson can play this one to Konate. He can even play it to Van Dijk if he wants to. And Van Dijk was sharp and Kirkes was alert, but no need to do that. Just pass it to Konate. But it's from here that really frustrates me. It's really, really annoying. Like, do you give the ball to Frimpong? Or take a little touch inside. Szoboszlai show for this ball here. Pass the ball to him. Or Szoboszlai make a run here. Konate just lay this ball into all this space. I mean, there's acres of space again. It's very, very similar to the passage that Wolves did that I showed you. But instead, we don't have composure. We don't have this patience. And Konate just lumps the ball forward to Ekitike. And if you're going to do that, that's fine. You've got to get players around to win the second balls. Salah stood out wide. Gakpo stood on the other wing. They hugged the touch lines. That's a clear tactic from us, despite the fact they can't beat a winger one-on-one whatsoever. In fact, if we had like Doku on the wing, who's probably the best 1v1 winger there is in the league, even he would struggle in our system. Because it is literally just 1v1 specialists on the wings. And if you can't do that, you can't do anything. And that's what we're seeing with Salah and Gakpo so far this season. So no one gets the ball from Liverpool and Wolves come away with it. And now this is a bit of controversy in the game. I think personally we were a bit hard done by here, although we did not deserve to win this game. I'm sorry, I don't care what the stats say. The way we played, the way we threw it away, full credit to Wolves. They 100% deserve to win in my eyes. As a result, I don't want this to come across as sour grapes whatsoever, but I personally think this is a penalty. I'll move it on. Salah runs at his man, puts Frimpong in, and he's going to cross this ball in. We've actually got players in the box, quite dangerous. And Krejci is going to block this one. And I've got this reverse angle here where you can really see, and the reason why I think it's a penalty. You see here, Krejci's arm, he's going to hit the ball with his right arm here, right? First of all, I don't really think this is the most natural position to have your arm in when you're running. I mean, I know that you make sort of this motion, you all know how to run, but I don't think holding it like a chicken wing is really the natural motion that he would be in at this point. I mean, you look at like the other players that none of them are really doing the same thing that he is, and they're all running back in the same way. It's then this motion though to move his arm towards the ball, like literally like a chicken wing, and sort of elbow strike it. I think for me is a stonewall penalty kick. Not given in this game. Like I said on the ratings, this was muckery beyond belief. I think this is a penalty, but I'll move on. Let me know what you think in the comments. I had to put this one in. This is not really tactics at all. This is just Gakpo being the worst human in the known universe. I mean, like, this photo gives me nightmares. I can't get it out of my mind. Like, Jones is going to score this one with his chest, with his chin, with his nose, with every hair on his body could have put this one over the line. The goalkeeper's nowhere near. He's literally stood on the goal line. But this genius over here, and by genius I of course mean absolute fuckwit, just decides, I'm going to get my big gangly grey boot in here and I'm going to hook this one away from goal. I mean, what on earth is he thinking? I just can't understand what he's doing when he takes this one off Jones at all, and we don't score. And that was probably Gakpo's last action of the game that really mattered. More from Salah here, but more lowlights from Salah. I mean, last season Salah was amazing, absolutely amazing. And to me, like, I don't want to diagnose all Liverpool's problems in one video for one game, but this season, I think part of the reason why we have been so far off the team that we were last season is not just because we've lost Diaz or Jota or Nunez or any of these other players that we've lost in the attack, or Trent in build-up. I don't think it's all because of that. Certainly part of it is because of that, but losing Mo Salah of last season is such a big loss because he had the best statistical Premier League season of all time last season, and this year he looks like he could barely tie his own shoelaces together. So losing that type of player is basically like we lost Salah last summer and we've replaced him with someone who's much, much worse. It just so happens that that's also Mo Salah. And this is the prime example. So you think last season, a tactic that we employed a lot last season was get the ball to our wingers and then they would sort of drift this direction. So maybe they could have a shot, maybe Salah can hit that one, far post. Same with Gakpo on the other side or Diaz. But more often than not, what they'd do is they'd look to clip a ball, an inverted cross over to the far post, and you'd have Gakpo, you'd have Diaz, or somebody, even Salah, running in at that far post to try and flick the ball in. You remember Salah's assist against Man City at home to Gakpo from across just like that. But here, Salah just doesn't see it. It doesn't. I don't know if he's like the vision has gone or the confidence or I don't know what it is, but what he actually does is so poor. He tries to play this past to Szoboszlai. It's not really on. It's hit too slow. Wolves come in and intercept it, and then he tries to react and fouls. I think it's Andre or João Gomez on the ball again, and Wolves get away with a free kick. Just really, really poor, sloppy play again from Salah, giving the ball away, which he does far too much. And then the game became a basketball match, as it does so often when Liverpool are pushing for a goal, which is pretty much every game. It became just chaos, and that's why we keep losing games in the 90th minute, guys, because we can't put teams to bed within 70 minutes, 60 minutes, even 80 minutes, and the game is always in the balance. And when it's always in the balance, you've always got a chance to lose it just as much as you've got a chance to win it. And we seem to get so tired. Outran again in this game. Wolves outran us by 4 kilometres. We never outrun teams anymore. That used to be the hallmark of Liverpool, and in the glory days of not too far gone. Konate is going to play this one into McAllister here, and this is part of the problem that we have. In transition, we don't have transitional players. We don't have players with legs. We don't have fast players, really, bar 1 or 2. And you'll see that here. McAllister gets this ball. If he was dynamic, if this was Szoboszlai maybe, and maybe he could burst away from his man, he flies into all this space. Maybe he can find the killer pass. Maybe he can have a shot. Instead, he runs dead slow and then he falls over. Then he gets tackled and he lies on the floor. And it's just so bad, isn't it? It's just laughable. And now you see Wolves get a counter-attack, and this is basketball. What you're watching here is just basketball. We run this way, you run this way, we run this way, you run this way. That's what it is, and this is why we lose the game. Jones is on now. He's not got really a lot of legs either. I remember the first game we played in the season, we lost to Bournemouth. We beat Bournemouth, but we lost 2 goals in that game for transitions. And Arne Slot said, well, we didn't have Ryan Gravenberch. If we had Ryan Gravenberch, that would have helped. And everyone at the time said, yeah, fair enough. He was an amazing defensive midfielder last season. It doesn't matter if we had Gravenberch on, because I guarantee he wouldn't stop this counter-attack. I guarantee it. And compare this to Ekitike, who is genuinely a shining light in this team, as is Wirtz, who are missing beyond belief. Ekitike, I feel so bad for him at the minute. He has to do striker work, centre midfield work, and wing work to try and get anything going for us. Gets the ball out wide on a transition. Compare this to what you've just seen from Liverpool. This time, first touch of the ball, it's going to burst down the line, uses his pace, drives the defender right to the byline. You see Liverpool nowhere anywhere in support because no one has the legs to get up there with him. He makes his move, step over onto the left foot, really good play, gets the cross in. McAllister's the one in the box, Salah's the one in the box, but they're too late. No one gets across, to really get there, and Wolves can clear pretty easily. And then this is Wolves' first goal. It's shocking from us. Again, I want to look at the position to the midfielders. Like, this is not a formation. I don't understand. Like, Maka's up front, Jones is on the left, and then Szoboszlai is deepest. It's too fluid. No one, for me, has like clear instructions of where they should be in the middle. Gomez is on now. He's at right back. He's high up the pitch. We've obviously just tried to mount an attack and lost the ball. And Wolves go long. And truth be told, this shouldn't really have been a problem. Like, Van Dijk dealt with this all game long, except in this one occasion where Tolu, who's a big lad, and compete with Van Dijk much more than Adam Armstrong can, perhaps, just gives him a little nudge, but not quite enough for a foul. And controls it, brings it down. But for me, like, why is Konate over here? I just don't know. It's like someone opened the cage in the Rhino enclosure and they just went wild around Mizzou. They were just roaming around. They were in the gift shop. They were in the giraffe enclosure. They were eating all the other animals. They were just causing chaos. They were hitting pedestrians with the horn. Like, why is he over here? Why is he not just in his position? I will honestly never understand. But obviously, Tolu plays the ball out wide, and Gomez is able to take the ball and finish over Alisson before any of our players can get back. Transition, us not being good in transition, not being athletic enough, not being smart enough, and we concede a really poor goal. Wolves' first shot of the whole game. Right, then Rio was on. He was on in the last couple minutes, but this was one opportunity that he had where he really made something happen. Gets the ball in the box, so not too far wide. This is a good thing. I think getting our wingers closer to goal, whoever they might be, is always helpful. And he doesn't have to do any tricks or flicks or beat a man here. He just waits and waits for the right angle, and then he finds this curling effort that's going to go in this far post through the defender's legs. But Jose Sarr makes a brilliant save, to be fair. Fingertip save, pushes it onto the post, and Wolves survive. But good play from Rio. Definitely helps us getting our wingers closer to the goal. And we're unlucky not to equalise as early as we did. As earlier than we did in this clip here with Mo Salah. So Salah's last Prem goal before this came from an error where Emi Martinez just passed Salah the ball and he scored against Aston Villa. Problem I'm seeing with Salah now is Salah was always a player at Liverpool who you could rely on to get a chance in a game, and more often than not, he'd score that chance. Now, the only time he ever looks like he might score is if the other team give him a chance. They literally gift it to him, which they did here. Gets this ball. Again, just look at Liverpool's midfield. So at this point, we took Konate off. So Jones is now at right back. Gomez is centre back with Van Dijk, who's randomly in midfield. Szoboszlai is still the deepest. McAllister is the only other midfielder left on the pitch. Chiesa's up front. Rio's on. Salah. It's just a mess. Whenever we go behind at the end of a game, we just go to complete chaos mode. And I think this is part of the reason why we lose games in the last minute. There's no plan. There's no composure. There's no calmness. It's just everyone get your attackers on the pitch and run around and see if we can make something happen. And Salah does here, to be fair to him, carries the ball into the box. And outside of the foot effort. He tried this a few times when he came back from AFCON, didn't get it right. He didn't even really get this one right. Jose Sarr just parries it into the net, and luckily we go back to 1-1. And I honestly thought we'd go on to win it, especially at this point when Salah wins the ball from the Wolves set piece, nicks it, and is able to break away. So flying down the pitch, this is retro Liverpool counter-attacks with Salah, Mane, Chamberlain, Firmino, Shaqiri, that kind of team that would fly forward and counter-attack you until you were dead. This is easy. I mean, this is a criminal thing from Mo Salah in this game, because if he just lays this ball into Szoboszlai's path now, lays it in here maybe, Szoboszlai can run onto it and just strike it into the net, just like he did earlier when Salah gave him one in a game a few games ago. And he came onto it into his stride and struck it first time. That was against Brighton in the Cup. Instead, Salah waits too long. He delays. And then poor pass, really poor, gets intercepted, kicked away, and we lose that chance. And that would have put us 2-1 up and probably would have won us the game. But instead, we go right to the last minute. This is Rio again on the ball. Again, you'll notice he's not too wide. He's not stood out right on the touchline over here. Instead, he stood within the width of the 18-yard box, trying to make stuff happen. I think it's a much more beneficial position for us to be in. But again, you're just seeing so many players now forward. And I mean, I guess rightly so at 1-1. Rio goes for this cross, really good cross, finds Van Dijk, the man you want to find, but he just gets his header all wrong, just heads it straight at the goalkeeper, and Jose Sarr can claim easily. And then the final part of the game, the heartbreaker once again. But were you even heartbroken? Were you even surprised? I know I wasn't when this goal went in. This is a foul, though. I don't know how this Muppet in the blue doesn't notice. I mean, literally got Smurf running the show here in the middle, because I don't know how, in what world he thinks Andre just beating the shit out of Szoboszlai in the middle isn't a foul. I mean, he literally robs him of his lunch money, his next day's lunch money, everything he's got on him, his phone, his wallet, his keys, he takes it all, just completely mugs him, and the ref thinks it's sound, knocks him on the floor. But look at our setup again. It's just chaos. Here's the player playing right back. Here are our two centre-backs. So, what? What even is that? It doesn't make any sense at all. Here's our left winger. Here's one of our midfielders, and here's another one stood right next to our striker. Listen to what I'm saying. Our right back is stood behind our two centre-backs in the middle. Our centre mid is up front with our striker. Our left winger is dead narrow. And our other centre mid is on the ball right next to our two centre-backs. Like, what kind of structure is this? And Wolves break, we get the ball back. And then again, we see the structure is a problem. Alisson's kick, yes, it's really, really poor. It's really, really bad. But everyone is just going mental at this point in the game. It's just chaos, and he kicks it long. Wolves can bring this down. Like, no one is near. There's no one in the middle. McAllister and Szoboszlai, these are our two centre midfielders at this point in the game. They're both out on the right wing. Like, why on earth are they both out there? One of them, maybe Szoboszlai. McAllister's got to get in here. The ball comes to Andre. Maybe you could argue Rio or Chiesa could do more to close him down. They don't. He turns. He gets to the edge of the box. Hits this shot, which Arne Slot said, once again, was not a chance. And when he says that, it makes my blood boil, because this is a chance. Whether XG registers it as a high quality chance or not, if you let a Premier League footballer have a free shot on the edge of the box, it can go in. It can deflect like this one does. It can fly in the top corner. They're Pro League, Premier League level. The pro footballers, Premier League level. They can score from outside the box. Any of them can. Even Harrison Reed. We should have learned our lesson from that game. We didn't. Andre has this shot. He scores it, and Wolves win the game. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I really do hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please do drop a like on it. We're trying to get to 35 likes on all of the videos. So if you did enjoy us going through the game, from the weekend, giving my thoughts, just really confusing from Liverpool at the minute. Really, really confusing. So hopefully you did enjoy it. And if you're new around here and you did enjoy, please do click that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, so help me get there by clicking subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. Again, apologies, this video is a Thursday night one and not a Wednesday night one right after the game. Just a lot to do for me this week. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed it today. I'll be back tomorrow night with the ratings for the Wolves game again, this time in the Cup. And it's so deflating at the minute. I can't even be that excited for it because the Premier League is so dire at the minute. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one tomorrow night. Goodbye.